Pine Mountain in Mount Snow. It's our next event. Kevin, great job. We'll see you next time. Coming up, women's pro ski racing from Jiminy Peak, Massachusetts.
Couldn't skateboard. So after a couple of winters, I just decided to make a skateboard for the snow.
I first started riding in the late 60s on a Snurfer, which was kind of a toy. It was kind of a joke, but it was snowboarding, definitely. From that point on, I knew that, or felt that there was a sport there, and that it could get a little bigger. No idea it was going to get this big.
Everyone in the 1970s was building their snowboards based upon the terrain they had to work with.
I think winter stick boards definitely ruled in the powder. In the early days, it had to have powder or else you just didn't go ride. There was little scenes going on, and we just happened to have our little scene up here in Tahoe, but there was other people catching on to the sport at the same time for sure.
You had to be in great shape. You had to hike everywhere. There was no lifts. There was no nothing. Everybody thought you were a lunatic.
They'll bribing snowcat drivers, or where there were some places you could drive part way up the mountain and jump out.
The 70s in snowboarding was pretty much total experimentation. It was just isolated hippies around the country trying to figure out what they could do in the snow.
One of the earlier things we did was try to find quarter pipes and then build them up to vertical, just like a vertical skateboard ramp, trying to simulate some of the skate tricks on a snowboard.
When you saw that whole Tahoe crew and what they were doing, it was just amazing. Terry Kidwell was really the man. He was doing 6-7 foot McTwists, 10 years ago, and they were perfect. They were as good as anything that anybody does today.
He really helped in many ways father and pioneer the whole freestyle movement. Ski areas not allowing the sport was really what was holding back the growth.
One of the mountain owners came up to me and he goes, "I don't care what you guys do. I will never, ever allow those things on my mountain."
Now you're riding up, high-speed lifts and going down the hill, and the riding definitely started to take off and progress, and people were riding more with each other. And that and competitions, I think, are what continue to push the sport. In the early days, Tom Sims did the Worlds up at Soda Springs here in California. And then Jake Burton over in the East Coast was kind of doing some Burton-type contests. With the progression, we started kind of going to different contests, and it was kind of the East Coast against the West Coast. Dominance was in two different areas as far as they took all the races and we kind of took all the freestyles in those days.
Videos have probably pushed the sport more than contests.
You really didn't have time to go video shooting and have a big contest schedule, so many riders just decided, screw contests, we're going to go shoot video.
Kids just watch them religiously, just analyze every minute movement.
I think a lot of today's top riders, they like to be in the videos more than anything else because it does show them sticking their
I remember the tough days, the true men of the day.
By kind of the later 80s, street skating really started taking off, and that element really came into snowboarding. People weren't riding forward anymore. They were just in constant spinning off their tip and tail and just riding on plastic and wood and everything but snow.
All these guys who were really good at freestyle took it to the big mountains. And they were doing everything they were doing on small mountains and off kickers on big, extreme stuff.
It's nuts. It's not like going to the resort, getting off the lift and going, hey, where's the pipe, where's the park, you know, where's my favorite line.
The women have really come on in the last couple, 3 years too. That's a huge thing. The level of riding for women snowboarders is unbelievable now.
It's really neat to see women advancing so much in the half pipe and free riding and everything, because now women can look to women to get inspired.
I know that I looked up to Tina Bassett and Michelle Taggart and Shannon Dunn. Now I'm riding with them, and they still impress me constantly.
Snowboarding is absolute craze status right now. A lot of companies are doing real well, and riders make great salaries.
The riders that are really respected now are the ones that can do everything, you know, can ride half pipes and can go out and rip 3,000 feet of vertical in Alaska.
When you look back at just the little hill up the street, and you go, man, that's crazy how, you know, hey, let me borrow your board and check it out.
Snowboarding, which started off as just seeking freedom and fun, I think it's coming back to its roots now. The only thing that might derail that is the Olympics.
So many sports are like just begging to get into the Olympics, and, you know, please, and it's happened now. It probably happened a little bit earlier than it should happen, but I think for the athletes, it's a good opportunity. I think if I was riding 8 hours a day, 7 days a week, and I had an opportunity to go for a gold medal, I'd probably want that to happen too.
I like doing contests and I like racing. It's a lot of fun. But for me, the best part of snowboarding is just being at home and charging around with my friends. And, you know, that's where the race is for me.
Even though snowboarding gets crazy sometimes, it's still all about snowboarding. And the best feeling is after a powder day and you're throwing high fives with your friends.